One of the most profound lessons modern biology has taught us is that the biggest, most devastating diseases often begin with changes in the smallest molecules imaginable. Cancer doesn't just appear as a massive tumor overnight. It starts with alterations in molecules that are millions of times smaller than the width of a human hair. This perspective fundamentally changes how we understand disease prevention and treatment, and it's something we really need to grasp if we want to protect ourselves effectively. Think about the scale we're talking about here. A DNA molecule is about 2 nanometers wide. An RNA molecule is similarly tiny. The proteins that control cell growth typically measure between 10 and 100 nanometers. These dimensions are so small they're almost impossible to visualize. Yet when these microscopic molecules malfunction, the consequences can be absolutely devastating at a scale we can see and feel. A single mutation in a single gene, a change in literally just a few molecules inside one cell, can be the initiating event that eventually leads to a life-threatening cancer. This reality has some pretty serious implications. It means we can't rely on visible or palpable symptoms to detect problems in their earliest stages. By the time a tumor is large enough to see or feel, it's already grown from trillions of cells and represents years of development. The real damage, that critical moment when a cell crosses the threshold toward cancer, happened much earlier, at the molecular level, completely invisible and imperceptible to us. But here's where this gets interesting and actually gives us hope. If big diseases start with small molecular changes, then intervening at the molecular level can prevent diseases before they even begin. This is the promise of modern molecular medicine. When we use sunscreen, when we avoid sunburns, when we maintain healthy habits, we're intervening precisely at this molecular level. We're preventing the microscopic changes that, if allowed to accumulate over enough time, would eventually manifest as macroscopic diseases we can see and suffer from. Cancer research has increasingly focused on understanding these initial molecular processes. Scientists have identified the specific signaling pathways that become dysregulated in precancerous cells, the specific mutations that are critical for malignant transformation, and the specific changes in RNA and proteins that characterize at-risk cells. This detailed molecular knowledge is leading to new therapeutic strategies that can intervene at very early stages of cancer development. There are experimental therapies that can induce death in precancerous cells before they become fully malignant. There are drugs that can reactivate tumor suppressor genes that have been silenced. There are approaches that can restore dysregulated signaling pathways before they cause serious problems. The fundamental lesson here is that we need to think about our health at multiple scales simultaneously. Yes, it matters how we feel, how our skin looks, what symptoms we experience. But what's happening at the molecular level, completely invisible to us, can be equally or more important for our long-term health outcomes. Understanding and respecting this molecular reality means taking preventive measures even when everything seems fine on the surface. It means recognizing that the absence of visible problems doesn't mean the absence of molecular changes that could lead to future disease. This knowledge should empower us, not frighten us, because it means we have the power to intervene early, before small molecular problems become big medical crises.